mural by the sea imagines what those first people coming in on the boats might have encountered about San Fernando. And this is a good place right here because mainly this is where the story of San Fernando really begins because it was a city, like most of it, founded by sea. A mural by the sea happens in a very simple way. In the early years, I remember sign painters were very critical to the commerce of things. And in places like these bars, you would have found a lot of murals. Very naive artists, simple artists, come up with enamel paints, different colors. I was one of them, did that. And they would paint all the sceneries. So the bars were decorative bars. You know, it wasn't just a digital or a Carib sign. A big elaborate scene of fishermen and, you know, that kind of thing. So that image brings the mural to mind. But that image also had people. And therefore the image has stories. And that begins the journey. A mural by the sea. The cocks are crowing from end to end. The last train of the old Calypso rots in the round by the convent. Band passing. The woman with fogged glasses is fanning. The woman with the crooked wig is fanning. The woman in grey kicked off her shoes. The woman in white kicked off her shoes. The woman in brown kicked off her shoes. Leo the Jab Jab is standing predominate among the shoes. The woman in grey has found her mirror in an Indian's eyes. They meet and collide. We collect the scattered cigarettes and coins that rolled away. We meet at the steel margin of the soul between hill and sea, at the edge of memory on an old map of the world. Not a day passes when the moon is not crushed into a million, when each shard does not sharply recall the dutiful ocean, mud road, or whistling eye of a star. Novellas brought on the wings of the trade winds, the huge and sorrowful parting of the Bocas. We wake with the indifferent light of morning against the treacherous shadows of day. A horsewhip slithers through the grasslands of Vista Bella, through Marabella, making its way past the silver domes of Pointe-à-Pierre. Lush acres of cane fields stretching across Central, yellow Carib smoking leaves under the Arima dial, a herd's boy and his mud-caked bulls at Aranguez, the blackened corridors of old South Key Station. Savannas and swamps teem with history set in coastal sunsets. Grinning monkeys by the luminous river where all along we lived in the sign painter's eyes. His sweeping skies and emphysemic horizons going down, down at dusk. A flaming cane arrow pierces an ox pecker cloud, curls to ash like swamp grass to a sadhu's prayer.
It's the last train to San Fernando. It's the last train to San Fernando. And if you miss this one, we'll never ever get another one. It's the last train to San Fernando.
And here we are, Sarah, resurrected in the forest of mass and myth, the enamel world of the flame, braving silence for a singular language, occasional light, occasional stone. A gate has gone up for Aunt Audrey and for Mrs. Jardine. At the corner of Montague Lane is a lamppost with a deep scar left from an axe swung at a man's head. Luckily, he ducked. Everyone cheered when the boys from the lane came up to bat, jeered the nervous bowler from Short Street. Everyone remembers Bonesy's black pudding, her thin hands deep in a bucket of pig's blood, stuffing white entrails with filling, Eugene, in his long raincoat and umbrella, Makushla the Great, stepping out of his mother's arms with a feathered cape and tall stride. Everyone remembers Clemmy George, who kept the word and the world in a cardboard folder under his arm. There was Mr. Arlett, who talked his goats, and his son Winston, who won the eating prize every year. There was a pig that ran squealing with a long chain in the dark night, and on mornings a cough racking from above as fires wheezed over the kitchen sink. There was the day when news came that Elford had gone to sea and not returned. When his body was found, shrimps had eaten his eyes. The day that Hurricane Flora passed close to Trinidad, Man stammered his first language, and with the fluency of his watery eyes read from the tattooed mantras on Molly's arms. Agnes turned to nips of puncheon. Her daughters, 5 in all, turned to God, and Alvin, who thought he could fly, took off for London to study William Shakespeare. I remember I was trying to make a kite. All the fellas on the blocks were making this mad bull, boy, and I tried to make my mad bull. And no matter what I tried, I couldn't get a mad bull, the compass to work. And Leroy sit me down on Daddy Bell's step and make that compass right for me. And he asked me a question then. He said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I said, "I want to be a calypso." And he said, "Me too." The truth is that he helped me to write the first calypso. And I went on Antique and ran second, you know. But the thing was that what I knew though, that fella wasn't going to be easy in anything that he did, because the next time I saw Leroy was dancing a fireman. I didn't know Leroy could do all them things. So you're talking about my hero. I used to follow literally follow Leroy Carnival Day, because when Leroy started to dance, I just watched him and I'd say, "But look at Leroy," you know. So that's it. So that it's important in doing a mural by the sea. The first copy of this belonged to Leroy, because it wasn't that. It's not Black Stallion. It's more than Black Stallion. It's Leroy Collins, Miss Nicey's son. There's Dennis' little brother. There's, you know, and the whole family is Yvonne and Gloria and on the block. And then the first star to take off from the constellation that was Lord Street was Leroy Callis. And Leroy never stopped soaring, you know. And therefore, in the first book I did, and then in this book again, so much of it, you know, is because of what Leroy would have helped to nurture in me. So a mural by the sea and the poem Sando Proper for Black Stallion. Trandabo sima.
Trandabo sima.
Trandabo sima.
Exekire bendo sima.
Shane, who is famous and is a star. Shane would tell you, stars don't ever fall. All stars pitch and dip and reappear, a glint in the eye of the sun. Chancellor to all of this raises his trumpet to the light, the bookman dancing on his toes. Miss I. Harper, dressmaker, peddles her sewing machine in the shade of the calabash tree, humming in a morning breeze, pausing to cut a thread, respool a shuttle. Then, with her fingers broken by a jealous husband, Miss Beryl and her brood, Miss Nicey, whose son was born to sing calypso, Mr. Webster, commissioner of affidavits, Mr. Walcott, shoemaker. The Council of Warrahoons, tongue loosened by roasted scorpions, recite these full biographies. Trandabo, Trandabosima.
Tandabo, Tandabosima.
Trandabo, Trandabosima.
Tandabo, Tandabosima.
Zapata could always sing. Eh? And after a razor greased with garlic left a scar from his temple to the jaw, his croon deepened even more. There were minstrels' faces cracked from the wrinkles of notes and harmonies, singers who came and went over the canvases of time, gypsies and drunken sailors, places and references of every manner and constellation. When Shane got to Brooklyn, it took little time for him to pull up in a black stretched limo, a blood on each arm, full mink to the floor. When a man walked on the moon, Cutthroat was there. Shane, Arthur Meade, Slim, and Ming in a kitchenette by Peo on Lefferts Place. Neil Armstrong on the small black and white TV, uttering his famous words. How were we to know that in a matter of days Cutthroat would be found dead? Arthur said it was an accident. Others said it was over money. A man stabbed over and over by the market in Sando so many years ago. How many steps could such a leap make? Alan, who is Nicholas, not lad, will now interpret.
Bendo de nare. Ado yung kurun na tahoy na grandfella. Siyak manam, de mahanam, unay sili gundulu dundulu. E masa dibero waitana waitana. Injos tamana, injos kularao, daya tanka sa vision of the scope and vision. Ha!
San Fernando. Last train to San Fernando. And if you miss this one, you'll never get another one. It's the last train to San Fernando. Bam bam bidi, bam bam bidi. Bam bidi bam bidi bidi, bam bam bidi. Bam bam bam